So what's up, everybody? My name is Andrew Carroll. We've gotten to know each other a little bit over the last couple of days, and I'm here today to tell you why millennials are useless and how we're going to bridge the gap in expectations and leadership. The objective today is that by the end of this presentation, you will have a better understanding of why people think millennials are useless and what we can do to improve that stigma so that we can all work together in harmony, right? So the overview here, I'm sure you've all heard all of these. Millennials can't communicate. Millennials need to feel special. And millennials lack leadership. Now that third one is more about how I view this situation. So this is going to be a bit of an opinion. But I think it'll all help us start a dialogue, which is incredibly important, that we can take back to our work centers and hopefully increase productivity with the human capital that we have in place at this time. Millennials can't communicate. They're stuck to social media, they're constantly using their cell phones, they're on the computer all the time. This one-on-one personal interaction between, Chris, how you doing today, man? Good. Getting out there and really establishing a relationship, right? That human connection. A lot of people in the generations prior to the millennials feel that that is a lost art. Now, I am on the leading edge of the generation of millennials as far as being born in 1985. I'm 33 years old. I work very hard to establish human connection and communicate well in person, electronically, via telephone. And I think I do a decent job of that. Between texting and email, if you pick up the phone and a millennial's on the other end of it, something must be seriously wrong because they don't know what they're doing at all most of the time, right? That's a pretty big stigma, isn't it? Personally, if somebody calls me, there better be an emergency. Because I don't have time for that. I can text you while I'm cooking dinner, I can text you while I'm at work, I can text you while I'm working, and I can get clear and concise and to the point about what we need to be talking about and what we need to be working on. And that is why I don't think that these things are necessarily a detractor from the productivity that millennials bring to the work center. This is a generation of multitasking individuals that will conquer some of the largest obstacles you can put in front of them if you give them the leeway and freedom to do what they need to do to get the job done. Millennials need to feel special. Oh, you're a snowflake. How many times have you guys heard that one? Huh? Raise your hand. You heard it before?
Oh, I've said it.
Raise your hand if you got, that's right. If you've called somebody a snowflake, right? Of course they want to be valued at work. Do you want to be valued at work?
Yes.
Absolutely. I want to be valued at work. I want to know that my 8 hours a day that I spend away from my family and doing the stuff that I enjoy doing is appreciated by the people that I'm working with and that are signing my paychecks. So why wouldn't they? That's not a negative thing at all. But the context with which it is presented to you on a regular basis is just, it's unacceptable. Work-life balance is a thing that has been pushed and preached to us at a significant rate, right? What millennials care about is life. I want to have fun at work. I want to be involved with people that enjoy what we do, that we share a deep set value in the organization and the mission that we're trying to accomplish. That's what millennials want, and I think at the end of the day, if we get down into the weeds and we start talking about a values-based approach to accomplishing the mission, we can all find something that we agree on that is going to make us a better organization. And that is the difference between a work-life balance and appreciating life. If I can go to a coffee shop and answer some emails and knock out a work product, why shouldn't I be able to? Right? I am not chained to a desk. And that's why I was talking about earlier, is that I am not location dependent on where I work at all, ever. Because I know that I can still be more productive in a 4-hour block than somebody, and no offense here, that's 55 years old and puts in a 14-hour day. It's that simple. And my generation, millennials, in and of themselves, we want to be efficient. That's our goal. A sense of self. A lot of people try and tell you that millennials are entitled, but we've been raised in an environment that appreciates what are often called soft skills, right? That we are special. But the millennial has an outward mindset in that feeling that I am special, because I believe, Scott, you're special to me. You're a fellow human, and we're on this journey together. Brandy, same for you. You're special, and I value and respect you, and I want the same in return. Now you do have some of those privileged asses that are entitled, but that's a really totally different mindset than having respect for the person that I am and having respect for the person that you are, Crystal. Does that make sense? Fantastic. This is the one that might ruffle some feathers. Millennials lack leadership. Now, you've got your baby boomers, and this is the one time in history that you have 5 active generations in the workforce, possibly 6. And each generation is significantly different. Oddly enough, millennials and I think the boomers have some things in common. And there's some great resources out there that on your own time you could go and you can dig through them, and they're actually really good charts. But we are the new face of the workforce. People that are my age, 33, 35, we're moving into supervisory and leadership roles constantly across the board because people are retiring like crazy. They're aging out of the workforce, right? The people behind me are very similar to me. And I got this experience when I went to college as a non-traditional student at 26, 27 years old. I was working with 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Last weekend, my best friend from college just came down to visit me, and he's 6 years younger than me. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten through calculus class. And that built our friendship up to something really incredible. And that group of friends that I have through that experience with Brandon has shown me a lot of the things that I'm sharing with you now. 4 of those kids are entrepreneurs. Some of them have worked for Oracle. They are out there, they're getting it, and they are willing to put in the effort and work to do something that's important to them. Now again, getting back to a values-based approach of leadership, you've got to be able to express to them what you're looking for and why they should care, right? And this is on you, this is on me now, because we are the leaders of this new age of the workforce, right? We have a responsibility to be flexible. Give them enough rope to hang themselves, because each failure is a learning opportunity, right? This is an opportunity for us to let them make a mistake, rein them in, and guide them back to where they need to be going so that they can continue to grow at leaps and bounds beyond where we are. And again, I talked about soft skills. Soft skills are emotional intelligence, communication, those kinds of things. You guys are familiar with the term, right? But it is my opinion that soft skills are essential skills. They are absolutely critical to accomplishing the mission and being productive with this wide range of the workforce. Now, you certainly have generations that don't necessarily think they need to talk about their feelings or be open about that stuff, but they're aging out. They're going off to their motorhomes and their RVs, and they're going to overflow Phoenix and Sedona, right? But that emotional intelligence and that outward mindset, the really cool thing about millennials as a generation is that they bring in an appreciation for diversity. And the leadership that we have now can be quite strict and stuck in their ways and inflexible. And that is absolutely detrimental to keeping the talent that will push your organization to success in their mission as you move forward with these young individuals in your workforce. Does that make sense? So the solution? Millennials are not useless. They're misunderstood, mismanaged, and they're lacking in leadership that can connect with them. Because at the end of the day, everything we do is about that human connection. These kids, these young, like actual adults, I'm still a young adult, right? But they are our most valuable human capital. Give them opportunities to fail, help them succeed, mentor them, build them up, and help them become even more than you ever hoped you could be. As leadership, you need to be open-minded and flexible. You need to be willing to communicate and listen, appreciating diversity, all different races, creeds, sexual orientations, experience levels, backgrounds, I don't care. Be open-minded, respect the individual. The mission's gonna get done whether we do it now or not. What matters, Brian, is that you and I respect each other and that we can work well together and that I can trust you. And if you're gonna be rigid and put me in a box, you might as well expect me to give you my 2 weeks notice in a couple of weeks, because I'm gonna have another job that's gonna pay me more, and I'm gonna be moving across the country because I don't need this. And I will not stay in an environment that doesn't appreciate me, and neither will my peers. And that's something incredibly important to think about. Lead by example using the essential skills. Use the essential skills. If it's difficult for you, practice them. But they're going to be absolutely critical for your success as a supervisor as you move forward. And if you're sitting in this chair right now and you're thinking to yourself, I don't need them to succeed, you are so wrong, I can't even tell you. Because your success is based solely on the success of your team that's below you. And if you're an effective leader, when you're gone, they don't need you. That's the beauty of millennials. So in summary, we talked about how millennials can communicate. We talked about how millennials are special and valuable to the workforce. We also discussed how millennials require leadership flexibility. And leadership is responsible for facilitating growth. Questions? What's up, Scott?
So, I'm one of those people that during this you talked about. I'm a boomer, and I find myself being stuck between two generations of people.
Absolutely.
One that I fully envelop and believe that if I give them